Here's something that might be helpful for anyone who is trying to cut a tread, and this might work for risers also, that needs to fit in between two walls. And they actually make a jig that you can purchase. And there are a couple of other videos that I found showing how you can make your own jig to cut these treads. However, one of our viewers suggested that what if you're only going to be doing a few steps and you don't feel like making your own jig or purchasing one? And if that's the case, something like this might work just fine, but you are going to need a couple of clamps. However, these clamps could also be replaced by screws. If you could run a screw down through these two boards, you're going to need at least 4 screws. And that would be one over here, one around here, and one around here, if you're not interested in purchasing the clamps. And you can see here where we extended a piece of scrap wood. You're going to need something like this and a straight board. However, these boards don't need to be as long as I have them. You could always make them a little shorter. And of course, the front board is going to go up against the tread or the face of the tread. And this really won't matter if the tread has a nosing on it or doesn't. And I would strongly suggest for anyone who's going to do something like this to cut all your scrap pieces and do one step and make sure that you understand the process of what you're actually doing. And you can see here where everything is square. However, if you have a situation where the wall is angled just a little bit, then you're going to hold this board here tight up against the wall. And don't worry about what the back looks like, because everything you're going to be focusing on will be based off of the front, your guide board that is under these two pieces. And let's go ahead and take a look at the bottom to get a better idea. The guide board is straight and tight to the front of the tread, and you have clamped everything together. Then you can go ahead and move it over and then place the guide template on top of your tread materials and tight up against the front of the tread or the front of the lumber there. And I'm also providing you with 2 different examples. This was the first jig that we created in the video, and this one here was the second one. And you can see where it's nice and tight. And I would imagine by now you're starting to get a pretty good idea what we're doing. However, if you don't, and this isn't making any sense, then I'm not about to suggest that you leave any questions in the comment area and you're going to be doing the work, then maybe purchase one of the jigs. And of course, you will need to draw a line here. You can see where the line is going to be drawn here. And also pay attention to any gaps that you might have when you have this board up against the wall. Because if there's a gap over here, a gap over here, or a gap in the center, then you will need to make more adjustments before cutting the tread. If it is not going to be a straight line, then do not cut a straight line. Kind of curve it if possible. And of course, if that is a problem, then you might need to make a few different pieces. For example, you might need to put a small curve on one end. And that's going to work out good with your scrap pieces of wood. However, that's not going to work good with a stair jig that you might have purchased for $100 or $200. Also providing you with another example of a problem you could run into. So you can see here where this part of the step is a little more square at a 90-degree angle, where this side over here is not square. However, it is shaped to fit in the wall. And it's going to look pretty good if you don't have any deformed sections of the wall. So after you have cut it, you can go ahead and put it into place. And if everything looks good, then you have done your job without spending a lot of extra money on a fancy stair jig that you're only going to use once.